Hey everyone, it's Jaden here from SpeedCubeShop.com, and today we're taking a long-awaited look at the X-Men Hong 5x5. So this is the first 5x5 to be released by X-Man Designs, and it comes in at $49.95, which is only $10 more than the OU Aoshong WRM. However, you are getting more features and what I think is a better performance. And now, without wasting any more time, let's go ahead and take a look at it. So this is what the packaging looks like. It's really nice, it's simple, it's compact, it's got a nice design on the outside, and it's kind of similar to the GAN 14 in which we have this little pull tab here, and you're able to just kind of slide out this inner compartment. We have the cube itself, and we have an accessories box with the X-Man Designs logo, and we have a card as well with a picture of the X-Man designer on the back. So like I said, the packaging is very simplistic. There's not a lot of filler in there, or really there's no filler in there. But now let's go ahead and take a look at what we get in the accessories. So we've got a screwdriver along with a cube solve guide, and lastly, some lens wipes. So the first thing I noticed about this cube is that it has UV coating, which I know some people are gonna like and some people won't. Me personally, I'm a fan of that kind of UV coated feel, so I definitely like it. The size of this cube is really nice. It's very similar to the Aoshong. It comes in at 61 millimeters, whereas the Aoshong is 61.5, so only half a millimeter difference. And now let's get into the part which I'm sure most people are interested in, which is just how this cube feels. So when we first got sent this cube, I had originally said that it kind of felt like a mix between the Dionysia and the Valk 5, which I do kind of want to explain further just to kind of help you guys understand what I meant by that. So for the inner layers, that's what reminded me of the Valk 5. It had a kind of like squarish blocky feel while still being like a really nice stable smooth cube, and it was the outer layers that reminded me of the Nasia, where it had this kind of like light airy feel. It was fast, a little sandy, and that's kind of why I said it was like a mix between the two cubes. So if you were a fan of either or both of those cubes, you'll probably be a fan of this one. So to kind of summarize all that up into the overall feel of this cube, it's very stable. The outer layers have this kind of lighter airy feel, and the inner layers are much more smooth and kind of somewhat blocky, though it's not super noticeable, or it doesn't really impact it in a negative way. Now for me personally, when it comes to those outer layers being kind of fast and airy, they're a little too fast for me. So my solution to that is to pretty much tighten the cube just a little bit, add a little bit of a lighter loop to those inner layers to make sure they're still relatively fast and smooth, and then maybe something like Martian on the outer layers to kind of smooth it out, keep it controllable, while still remaining relatively fast. Now when it comes to corner cutting in terms of 5x5, it's actually pretty good. Forward corner cutting on the outer layers, really nice. And the same can be said for the inner layers. Reverse is where it kind of starts to lack. However, you have to remember this is a 5x5 and not a 3x3. I was, however, surprised by how much reverse corner cutting there was on the inner layers. Now, it's not a lot, however, it's more than I thought there would be. As I mentioned before, it does have a very stable feel, and something that contributes to that, if we take these pieces out, is the fact that this cube has a ball core. So essentially, for just $10 more than the Aoshong, you get UV coating, a ball core, and what I believe is a much better performing cube. And before I fully reassemble the cube, there's a couple more things I wanted to show you. So the first thing is the piece designs here. As you can see, the corner has the magnet in the base there, and this is a closer look at the edges. As you probably noticed, they have these little grooves on them. So the last thing I want to do before we end off this video is to actually set up the cube, which I haven't done at all. I want to see just how good it can be when it's fully set up. So as I mentioned earlier, the cube felt a little fast to me on those outer layers. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to first start off by tightening the cube. And now I'm going to add a little bit of lunar to the inner layers. And now for the outer layers, I'm just gonna add a little bit of Martian. And I might as well just scramble the cube up to help break it in. So now that the cube is set up, let's go ahead and do a solve here. So my overall thoughts on this cube are pretty much positive. The only negative that I can really think of is that out of the box, it was a little too loose and it was kind of causing a bit more catching than I'm used to with these big cubes. However, simple fix, you just tighten it up just a little bit and you're pretty much good to go. But even without setup, I still think this cube is probably the best 5x5 that you can get currently on the market. And I really don't see a reason why you shouldn't at least give this cube a try. It comes with UV coating, it has a ball core, the performance is really good, and it's only $10 more than the Aoshong WRM, which I think it checks all the boxes for a definite win when it comes to the 5x5 category. But it would be interesting to see if Qi does make a non-UV coated version for those people who just don't like that feel. It would also bring down the price just a bit, which I think would also be a plus for most people. But with all that said, Dan is also releasing a 5x5, which is supposed to be pretty good. But as of now, we don't have an actual release date for that yet. So if you can't wait, or you really just want a much better 5x5 than the Aoshwang, go ahead and pick one of these up at SpeedCubeShop.com. And again, they are $49.95. So that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe, and comment down below whether or not you'll be picking one of these up and if you think it'll be better than the GAN 5x5. I'm definitely interested to see how they compare, and I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on it as well. Again, that's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.